Hey guys, good morning. Hope everybody's doing okay. I know I've seen Chasing Live, so I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to get over here. It's nice and cool and sunshiny over here in the south. It's actually a very pretty day. Very pretty. Hey, Channel Surfer. Hey, Maestro. How are y'all doing this morning? Y'all having your coffee? Coffee and donuts? Coffee and biscuits? I'm having my Mountain Dew and ice. Of course, I'm having my ice. I have my ice every day, right? And smoking my morning vape. No, actually, I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm smoking a cigarette to get myself going. So, y'all tell me the news around YouTube this morning. Hey, Sky. Hey, Susan. This is my one free day that I don't have any doctor's appointments or anything. So, just a good day to sit back and chat a while. I'll get out and it'll be a good day to rotate my flowers in and out of the sun. It has been so dreary here, cold and rainy. What's the weather like over in the UK, Susan? My family came here from the UK. Good morning, I'm just being me. That's one place I've always wanted to go, but I guess if I had to pick somewhere, like my heart just really desired to go, would be Australia and Scotland. That's my dream spots. So, did y'all catch my video this morning that I put up nice and early? Hey, pink butterfly. Hawaii's just so dang expensive. My aunt lived in Hawaii. So, what do y'all think about that? Somebody asking her if That was Jimmy's grandchildren, as in plural, more than one child, meaning that was more than just Summer there. Children, meaning multiple children, more than one. A child is one, children is two or more, right? And I had been saying that this other person, there was proof out there that they were speaking around that time, that they were still friends. Right, Andy. You remember yesterday I had said even though David Dotson was on the list, that I had found him to be more credible than a lot of people because he did say the videos that she showed him was of Summer and the boys, and that she told him that she had been gone like 20 minutes, not 2 minutes. Go ahead, Sky. I'll be here when you get back. And I've said all along that they fished further down where the rocks were at. And that horse pond is just a reservoir to that dam. It all pretty much connects. It's all part of Warriors. It's just one great big, but two different areas. And where she showed y'all on that video, and the part of the video that I clipped, that's still not all of it. There's still a bunch of different little coves that it could have been. That was just to give a basic idea. But it's all big boulder rocks that was brought in by the Tennessee Valley Authority when the dams were built. And they're like concrete boulder blocks. They're not naturally formed rocks. Well, I had seen them very early on, and then they just disappeared from sight, and I couldn't find them. And back a couple of weeks ago, I had started asking people to help me find this stuff. And then I happened to catch them last night when Crime Watch posted them. But I was sure to link her, put her links in my description. I sourced her. Well, she had said in the very beginning that she changed her mind like 3 or 4 times about where they were even actually at. Hunter said that they had put a bathing suit on her, but yet Summer, in the TikTok video, she was not swimming in a bathing suit. To me, that wasn't a bathing suit. And who exactly is Jimmy? Tim Mullins uses the alias Jim Goad. Remember Mechanic Jimmy? Um, Candace's dad's name is Ken. Donald's dad's name is Donald. Donald's dad, stepdad, was passed away at the time. Candace had lost her dad, so the only Jimmy that I know that leaves is the Tim Mullen alias that pretends to be Jimmy the mechanic. If I'm wrong about that, I'm willing to accept I'm wrong if somebody can give me a better. Okay, Terry, I just said that, but he was passed away at the time. Okay, Laura, I'll take that as an answer. How do you get Jim or Jimmy from Ken? But okay, we'll go with that. Candace's father, they used to call him Jim or Jimmy. I'm being told by 2 different people. So we'll go with that. A nickname. Thank you, Laura. Okay, so that question's been answered. Candace's father had a nickname, and they called him Jim or Jimmy. Mystery solved on that question. Thank you, Laura. Now, if we can figure out who the multiple children were and exactly where she was, we might get somewhere. Yeah, I know it's really rocky there. It's a really rocky area. But as this channel kind of moves away from the the church theory and the religion theory, and we move away from the conspiracy theories, let's remember that we don't have a basket full of facts. As I'm going back to the beginning and sifting through, we have a lot of stories being told by one person, and then another creator picks it up, and another creator picks it up, and it's being told as fact. Not really, Andy. It was just something that a subscriber had dropped to me to look into, and I have decided not to look any further into that stuff because what I have decided to do, since I have found this, is to go back to the beginning and start back from the beginning and look again at facts. Who is FH? Let me think a minute. FH. Oh, oh. We'll see if it comes from Fred Hill. It may not even be anything because he's the one that pushed out the Ziggy Bones, remember? And that's the one thing I'm trying to get away from is what has been just pushed out and pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. I want to get back to the basics and try to uncover these small things that we have overlooked because this was overlooked and hidden. This was out on day one, and somehow it got pushed to the side. And if it got pushed to the side, other things got pushed to the side. Well, I do know that he hangs out with MC and he is a friend of hers, but I cannot find a last name to go with that. Could he stop? There's nobody here. Stop that. You're scared of your own shadow today. Go lay down. You had a bad dream. Well, we know that Mullen has a big influence on those people around Ben Hill. I am not forgetting all of that. I've I'm the one that dug all that out on Mullen to begin with. Either paid or threatened, or a little of both. That I will agree with. But I need a last name before I can do any more research on him. I have sifted through everything I can sift through, but I cannot find a last name on this Anthony Andy Paul. And I keep coming up empty. But I know that I have heard whispers since the beginning that there was another Andy on that hill. No, Paul isn't the last name. Paul's a middle name. Because here's the thing, you cannot tell me that Don and Candace called the police down there without first letting Jody Sue and Andy and everybody else on that hill know that they were calling the police down there for something that big and giving them a heads up that their property could possibly be searched and giving them time to hide anything that they needed to hide. I've been around the block a time or two. I'm not stupid. I've worked, and this is just being honest. And I don't care who's listening, who records it, because this is just the way it is in small communities. I have worked wrecks and stuff around here, and you know, people on the way to the hospital and stuff, and somebody's like, "Hey, will you hold this bag of weed for me so I don't get caught with it?" Um, or "Hey, hold on to this for me until I get out of the hospital." Well, you've known them all their life. What do you do? Are you their friend? Are you a rat? You have to live in the community with these people. They have to trust you to a certain point to let you in their homes. I know what goes on out here in these people's houses. When I was in paramedic school, my teacher told me, he said, if you plan on staying in the community where you were raised, he said, be careful of using big medical words. He said it scares people in these hollers. He said when you're talking about diabetes, he said don't use the big words. He said stick to the basic words. He said the old people refer to diabetes as sugar. He said keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. He said in your spare time, he said get out there, do blood pressure checks, stop in on them, do, you know, basic care to the people who cannot get out and make it to the clinics and serve the community. And that's what I have always done. And that's the only way these people, you have to build that trust. So you cannot go in these people's homes and then turn around and call the police every time you see something small. You see a bag of weed laying there, you just act like you don't see it and you just keep on about your business. But anyway, you cannot tell me in that small area where it just everybody is so tight and there's so much dope dealing going on and so much of everything going on that they were going to call the police for something that serious that was going to get people's homes searched. And Jody Sue already with the knowledge that if they bring the dogs, that she needed to stay in the water to keep the scent down and all this stuff, that they did not give them a heads up that the police was coming in time to hide everything. Think about that. Think about it. That's where that 3 hour time gap went, was everybody scrambling in that holler in case their property got searched or at least some of that 3 hour gap, in my opinion. I know right here where I live, if I'm going to call the police for something, I'm going to holler out to my neighbor, hey, I'm fixing to call the police. And I'm gonna at least going to give a holler's notice. It might only be a 15, 20-minute notice, but it's a notice. And y'all think back about how Jody Sue worded that. She knew, she knew what to do to keep that scent down. That was a studied and calculated move. That sounds like a premeditated statement or activity. If they confiscated her electronic devices, I would be willing to put money on some Google searches on scent dogs. Just guessing. Or they were part of the Carly Trent search. Well, Lisa, you've got to keep in mind, I have worked search and rescue, ground search and rescue for a long time. And I'm a thinker. Sometimes I'm an overthinker. Yeah, but you know what? Them police can tell if that phone's been really hacked or not. That's the thing. And then they can tell from where it's been hacked from. And it still goes back to this. And I put it on the beginning of that video. EquiSearch and Dave Rader said there were so many hypodermic needles in that creek and on that property that it was dangerous. My question, I've thought about that too. Now, do they just throw their dirty needles in that creek to dispose of them? Do they just throw their dirty needles around on the property? Or could that have been done intentionally to keep the dogs out of a certain area? See, I went back and I've overthought that too. Was a certain area not searched because it was over littered with needles? I don't know if it was a spread out area or if it was just like a piled up place. All I know is it was badly littered. Like the way I understood it, the whole property was littered. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to what he says again. I don't know, but did y'all see my video about the Subaru? I don't remember how I titled it. I think it was when when was the Subaru underwater or something to that effect, and I done it a few months back where I showed rust on the inside of that Subaru all the way up to the doors. I listened to Michelle Walks this morning, and I think she's getting away from even thinking that Don and Candace is guilty. She said that her prime suspect was Don Sherfy Jr. And this is the first time that I just have to disagree and have to agree to disagree because everybody is entitled to their own theories. These people are just too suspicious, have lied too much. Well, she said that the hospital does not normally, she still thinks that it's cortisone that Grandma Candy was prescribed. She does not understand, evidently, the opioid crisis in Tennessee and how doctors push out opioids for everything. that's what they do here, that people go to the emergency rooms just to get opioids, that they do not give like cortisone shots in the knees at the emergency rooms. That's not what they do here. They write you a prescription for like a 7 day or 10 day supply, and then they give you a referral to an orthopedic doctor. And then the knee doctor, I've got a bad knee. But if it was Don Sherfy Jr., it was because she was trafficked out to, Don says, we just got her back. Back from who? I've I've had those um, text up for months. It says the video that I've got up that shows those texts is under the title "Planned Disappearance," I believe is the title of it. But I've had I've had that up for months, and I've always believed that there was a practice run. But Sharpie lives so far away. He would have had to make it from Beach Creek to Bluntsville with a high profile child, or from Ben Hill to wherever he took her with a high profile child. We're not talking about somebody that's from that area that had somewhere to take her. That's what makes Sharpie. Everything else fits except for that. And we more than likely would have run across a body by now. Now, light has been on my radar because instead of going around on the road, that you see on Google Maps instead of going around the long way. If you zoom in on Google Earth, there is some horse trails and there is some what appears to be motorcycle trails. And if you cut through the woods from Don's house to Frank Light's house, is only 0.3 miles, not 3 miles, 0.3 miles through this little bike trail or horse trail or whatever it is. Well, before I got blocked, I mentioned this to Jody Sue, and she says, "You're crazy. There ain't no trails there. Y'all just look at this map and y'all just invent things. There ain't nothing there. You have to go all the way around on the road. Y'all look at these maps and y'all just, you think, and I know what I'm seeing. I know how to read Google Earth. So why would Jody Sue deny that there is bike trails when even on her own videos you can hear those little mini bikes going and you know that they are riding on trails somewhere. Plus, he rides around in a vehicle with Utah plates on it. The man lives in Tennessee and he rides around in a truck with Utah plates. And Don talks about these big connections to Utah. Well, how does this man get by? Or what connections does Light have to Utah? Is it through the Trent woman? Is it through Clyda? I know Clyda is connected to the LDS church that is right down the road. Not the not the SDA church, but the LDS church. Y'all know that there's one of them right down the road that nobody's looking at. But I said we were not going to mention churches, religion, or conspiracy theories today, so let me back up out of that before I. Exactly, Wild Fox. No, the white truck had Utah plates for sure. But like I said, you can't tell me that Candace did not go and tell, or at least call and tell Jody Sue, hey, I'm fixing to call the police down here. Hide what you got because they're going to be looking for Summer on everybody's property. Because everybody knows everybody's business down there. And there's no way they're going to call the police down there to do that kind of search without notifying. I mean, come on now. That's what the conversation on at the truck was about. We all need to just go back and find whatever it is that we have overlooked. These people has made so much noise that we have just simply overlooked something, like this little slip that I found. We have overlooked something because they're not that smart. I don't know if we need to start thinking like criminals. Well, Robin's story has changed 3 times. I keep hearing what a great person Robin is. But if you go look at the Rogersville Review, the interview with Chris, and the interview with WJHL, her timeline changes 3 times. Why change your timeline 3 times? If you're telling the truth stands no matter what. And yes, you are absolutely right. She was high as fuck in that video with Donna. She could hardly hold her eyes open. If that video camera would have stayed on her another minute or two, she would have been swaying back and forth like Jacqueline West. She would have had the rocks. But I know these people have slipped more than just this one time that I've caught. They had to have. So now we know for a fact she was not at the horse pond. We know for a fact that she had more than one child with her. Fact, on June 15th. And it's, oh yeah, yeah, that's kind of fishy too that her cameras come up erased. And she said Andy had not been late from work in years, but he was late that day. Very odd. And he come in right behind Don. Very odd. Mm, Fort Patrick Henry Dam. Excuse me. No, it's all the same river. The water reservoir for the horse pond connects to it down at the other end. You remember when Allison said that they went fishing? Their fishing spot was down on the other end. And I said, yeah, that's where all the rocks were at. No, it's probably like a 9 minute difference or so. Maybe 10. Multiple children. And if it wasn't her children, whose children was it? But by the conversation dated June 15th that she was having, it sounded like they were her children, just like David Dotson told us. And maybe that's why David Dotson left that church. Maybe David Dotson was being more truthful than we gave him credit for. Maybe David Dotson was not going to be bullied by them people. Right. And she has connections to the Churchill Rescue Squad. She has connections to Andy Bernard. She has connections to Detective Pruitt. She has connections to Diamond Candy. Strange, huh? Right. I've heard something about that. And that kind of goes back to what I was wondering yesterday about. All the schools in Tennessee have what they call an active shooter drill, where they pretend to go into schools and show the kids what to do if there's an active shooter. Well, the SDA is technically a school. So did they hire somebody like Ernie to put on an active shooter drill? And did something happen? How did Ernie get all twisted up in this? Ernie had no presence really on YouTube before Summer Wells. So how did Ernie get all, where did he even come from? I mean, I know that he had like a small show, but he was not what you would consider a YouTube personality. So how did he even get all wrapped up into this? And that strikes me strange. And he is so wrapped up in it that he can't see straight. And he keeps landing himself in jail. He keeps letting himself fall into situations to get himself locked up. Right, Wild Fox. I'll never, I'm not even going to speak on that anymore because she should have done her due diligence and researched the case. Well, I know that, Becky, but he has put his whole career and everything on the line to fight with another creator. Well, I've thought about the QAnon angle of this. I've never heard of Dusty. That's a new one to me. Well, I'm sorry I speak slow. I'm from the South, and my channel is a really laid back channel where everybody gets a chance to speak, and I speak slow so I don't miss what any of my people in chat say. I promise you, I can talk fast, I can talk loud, I can get wound up, but I want everybody in chat to have a chance to not be missed and to be accounted for, and everybody to have a chance to have their questions answered directly, and everybody have a chance to speak. So if you think that I talk slow and that you can't hang, then I guess this isn't the place for you. Now back to my chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I had to address that. I try to answer everybody's questions. I don't make everybody pay super chats to get your questions answered. And I try to do it in a timely fashion. I'm sorry. Now, who's next? Whoever had all the information about all these people being together at Trump rallies at certain locations and everything, I really wish that you would drop that into my email because I have been trying to research the QAnon angle on this and the Make America Great Again angle on this because I thought that there was a link at one time of these QAnon people. There's been several of them that has hid their that's actually kidnapped their own kids and hid them from CPS and from government agencies before and put their kids in harm's way. You can actually pull this up online and read into it. And these people they're Fruit Loops. And there's several serving time in jail for it. And there's been a couple of people's aliases that has come back up in QAnon's chats that I have found. So whoever has that information, I really would like to have it. Well, get in line. You are more than welcome here. But that's why I speak slow, is because I take everybody's questions and we discuss everything. And I don't make people pay super chats to get their questions answered. So, yes, I do talk slow, but it's because I'm trying to take everybody one at a time. I mean, want to take, if you want to leave a super chat, I would gladly accept it, but it's not, uh, you don't have to do that to get your questions answered here. I think in the beginning, QAnon may have had some good people in it, but as it went on and it went on and it went on and it went on, it drew these Protestant church people like the SDA church. And then they started using these churches to harbor kids. And I'm not saying that they're all like that, but some of them did. And then you've got some like Ernie that's got chips in their ears and chips in their brain. Now, see, I don't know anything about the coin tail. It kind of lost me there. And it, it really lost me when I started researching where they go to become sovereign citizens and try to beat the system that way. to sue the government to try and get their kids back after they abuse them. I was watching a documentary just a couple of nights ago. A man thought that he could go and become a sovereign citizen, and he bought a big yellow bus that looked just like Grandis's bus to drive across the country. And he was willing to do anything, even kidnap his own kid from foster care and live off grid in this big yellow bus, just so long as he got to be with his kid. And it did not matter that he had um, SA on his record and he was an RSO, and that's why they took the baby to begin with. And he filed to be a sovereign citizen, thinking that they would have to give the baby back. But they ended up arresting him for violation of probation and taking the baby anyway. But when I seen that big yellow school bus that he had gutted out and made like a little place to live on the inside, I thought, oh my goodness, it looks just like that one up on the hill. I hope y'all can't hear me crunching that ice. I'm sorry. My mouth is really dry. I'm sure it sounds like a goat chewing a log. Probably sounds like I'm eating one of Cookie's milk bones or something. I'll stop. So I really did. I researched into the possibility of this being a QAnon self kidnapping to keep the child away from CPS just because of the people that's involved with this case. Um, I've heard that Ernie was wanted by the FBI for storming the Capitol, but he has been arrested so many times that you would think if he was wanted by the FBI that he would already have been hauled in. Well, I have mentioned that we have had so many like him pop up just since the Summer Wells case that it's not funny. I can think of three more running small channels smaller than me that's not far from him. It just doesn't have quite the antics that he has. It could be anybody, but I told you who I think it is. Now, I looked into Timothy, and Timothy is still on the run, but he still writes articles to the TBI from time to time on Summer Wells, and I thought that was very odd. Is Don Rainey the same person as Don Keller? I'll look into it, but I think her other name may be Dawn Keller, and she hangs around with Candace a lot. I'm good. How are you? Get her done. Hey, chasing dragons. Hey, here for chat. I missed a few of y'all when you come in. Well, chasing dragons. Look, we found out that she lied about where she was at. We find out that she lied about who was with her. We find out now that there was children swimming on June the 15th. Children, meaning multiples. Children means more than one. A child is one. Children is two or more. I've always said that I thought that he went home with her. But these were supposed to be her children because the question was asked, are those Jimmy's grandchildren? And she says, yes, they live in Tennessee. Marlena Crawford then asks us, where are y'all at, Warriors? And she says, no, we're at Fort Patrick Henry Dam. Uh, I thought they wasn't supposed to be around him. I think so, Jenna, but I don't think they would go as far as counting her meds. Well, Tamma, like I said, go to those three sources that I listed and see where Robin changes her timeline 3 different times. She changes her story 3 different times. The only one who has told a half true story would have been David Dotson. I have been told that Don Wells studied the Morphew case, that he was kind of obsessed with that, and that's not a good thing. That's another thing that gets me. I know a lot of folks that draw Social Security, a lot of elderly folks, and I take my aunt to pay her bills on the first of the month. And she always gets her phone time when her money comes in on the first of the month. And everybody I know gets their phone time between the first and the third of the month when their Social Security check comes in. I do not know anybody that's on Social Security that gets their phone time in the middle of the month on the 15th. And that is something that has bugged me. They have talked about burner phones this whole time. Was that a burner phone that was being set up on the 15th? Y'all think about that for a minute. I think about things like that. How many people do you know on limited income, Social Security or not, just limited income, and they always pay their bills and get their phone time when their money comes, right? Because you might not have money in the middle of the month. And I would think that she would pay her phone bill at the beginning of the month because she might mess up and buy too many pills or something in the middle of the month and not have money for her phone bill. That's just the way it looks like shit rolls downhill on Ben Hill Road. But I overthink a lot of things, so I'm told. Hey, that rhymed. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Hey, I know. I used to take my granddaddy and look, like I said, I deal with these people in my community. Well, that's what I said, between the first and the third. Right, right, right. Oh, I have watched the council meetings, believe me, Jenna. And I've seen where they filed for COVID money to cover, to replace the money that they spent for the summer well search. I've watched them do illegal stuff, believe me. Have you seen my videos on the manager out there at Mount Carmel? She uploads porn to the city website, and the mayor doesn't care. They have city complaints coming in, And they laugh about it at their city council meetings. Go check out their meetings. It is floor rolling hilarious. If you find things like that hilarious. I found it so disgustingly funny. I made a couple of videos on it just to let people know what the city of Mount Carmel was doing with the city computers. It's in my list of shorts, in my short videos. And Mount Carmel is supposed to be one of the townships that's supposed to be responsible for helping bring summer home. But yet, one of their city managers, and she's a female, has a past with the PORN industry, and she's uploading that using the city computers, and they find it funny. And the more the citizens complain, the more she does it. And then she threatens the citizens when they complain. No joke. And these are the people that we rely upon to bring summer home. Hey, Lisa, how are you today? I mean, it has just got disgusting. And guys, don't forget, it's not required ever. But if you want to, I am in need of a computer, so any super chats would be appreciated. If you can't afford it, I understand, but it's never required for any questions or for you to even be here. All subs are appreciated just for you being here and participating. Know what's Don B saying today? And yes, smash that like button because it keeps me in the algorithm. Share, share, Leanne. Tell us what he's saying. Oh, that's fine, darling. Don't worry about it, hon. I'll go watch it when I wrap up this live. I'm gonna wrap it up here in the next 15 minutes. I try not to go over 2 hours. It takes too long to upload if I go over 2 hours. I agree with you, September Virgo. I agree. Well, that's kind of what this whole life has been about is just, finding information and going over information that has slipped and trying to just stop all the noise and the nonsense that's just hammering us, even in here, you know? Well, I'm just not gonna entertain it anymore. I don't go over to Ernie Shell's live streams. I thought he was in jail anyway. What's the deal with that? We have found out just today that she had more than just Summer with her. She wasn't even at the horse pond, and gosh knows what else. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that she knew Ernie beforehand. I have found out that Brad Wishin and his son owns International Hemp Company, and now Ernie Shell and Tina owns Smoky Mountain Hemp Cafe. There's got to be a link there. I have not looked into it enough. And Candace standing in front of a hemp field, and I know there's hemp growing all around her. I mean, my goodness. Did he make it to court today? I was told he went to jail last night. I don't know. Right. I don't have the code right in front of me, but I had been looking into it was Tennessee code 39-1 something 2020 about um, faking evidence and investigations and altering evidence in active investigations. It's a Class C felony. And I was wondering when in the world the state of Tennessee is going to step in and charge these people. Well, same thing. Look at all these pictures of Summer around the rescue squad. And what was up with that last one that Tim Mullen posted with her tooth supposedly fixed? Where she looked like she was 7 years old. We don't even know exactly what this kid looks like that we're looking for. Oh yeah, that white boy lockdown radio was letting the cat out of the bag, which three creators was related to each other. They peed him off last night, and he has been leaking little pieces of information ever since. There's supposed to be three creators that is he says exploiting the situation that's related. Huh. Well, anybody that's got any information about those people, I need it. Yes, I do remember that, Andy. And then those bones was found behind that liquor store, and then the bones turned up to be plastic, or yeah, they were plastic and cement. Remember? And it was behind a liquor store or something. Oh, I do too. I'm cleaning Miss Cookie's water bowl, filling her water bowl. I'll be done in just a second. Here you go, baby. You ready? Here's your water. There you go. Sorry about that. I still got to feed and water my dog, even though I'm doing lives. She gets hungry and thirsty. Yeah, I think it was too. Well, last night I watched Ernie in that parking lot, and he was like whipping out weapons everywhere. Anybody could have called the police on him. That was goofy on his part to be sitting in a public parking lot whipping out weapons. Anybody that was in that parking lot. So I don't think anybody was bullying him last night, or I didn't see anybody bullying him, which I only seen a small clip of it. And I don't really know or understand what's going on with the rest of it, you know? What do you need now? Do you need to go outside? Well, let's go. Come on. That's what happens when you drink a gallon of water, silly. Let's go. It was so sunny and pretty this morning, and now it's done got cold and dreary again. You know, it's people like him that's made it hard for the real first responders to get discounts and stuff anymore. Not all restaurants offer it to us like they used to. I don't understand how people just get up there and give him money, 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 and don't see through what he's doing. And then he goes to jail and comes right back, and they give and give and give and give and give and give again. And he goes to jail. And then he comes back, and they give and give and give and give and give again. How does people do that? Tell me the trick. Well, I did hear Rap say that once you send a PayPal, that he's got your name and your address. I swear, I don't understand it. I mean, like, I've been trying to raise a computer fund for a month now, and I think I've raised $25. And he can get on there and raise that in 2 minutes. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand the concept. I guess that's the difference in being honest and just being a fool. Because to me, that's all he is, just a fool. When he was at the racetrack, supposedly collecting that evidence, he didn't even have proper evidence bags. He didn't have gloves on his hands. At one point, I see him wipe his nose on the back of his hand and then reach down and pick up a piece of evidence with his bare hands after he's done wiped his sweaty nose with snot and everything else dripping out of it. Probably meth too. And then he don't even have a proper bag to drop the evidence into. Had that been real evidence, it would not have been worth anything. Nothing. Oh, there was a pastor that got him out the last time. I would be curious to know what that pastor's name was. Does anybody know who the pastor was that bonded him out? Tina's not going to tell anything on him. She's too far up his behind. That's all she does is take up for him. While he gets on here and hollers, I'm single, I'm a single man, whatever it was that he said. And then the first time he gets in trouble, who does he run to? He runs to Tina. I have no idea what little bit I see on clip channels because I do not go to his chat. I do not give him the click or the view or the subscribe. I let somebody else clip it and I give them the view. Right. I mean, how desperate do you have to be to overlook what he's doing? I get it. But y'all see, I've called him out and nothing. Leanne, did you not see that big video that I've got over there saying that there's a missing reel of film from where they um, filmed in Gatlinburg that week? It's still going, still going. Xander come over here one time, and the only thing he said was, "Oh, I guess there's something wrong with us filming 20 minutes from where we live." And I said, "No, there's something wrong with the reel of film being missing." The same day or the same week, a little girl comes up missing. And Tina come over here and she said, "Oh, that is not." Oh, I lost a bud. Hang on. That is not Ernie. And that's all she said is, "Oh, that's not Ernie." Well, to hell, that ain't Ernie. I know for a fact that that's Ernie. It says Predator Hunter Nation, and he, God, that ain't Ernie. Well, one of them was off of the movie that they were doing, that Them or whatever, that horror movie that Ernie was starring in for him. I had two different clips over there. I don't remember what either one of those pastors' names are without looking. I would have to go look it up. It wasn't David Ryder, was it? Yeah, I try to. Well, I will try to. I've got two different doctor's appointments tomorrow. I've got a neurologist appointment and I've got physical therapy. So I'll try to fit one in tomorrow. If not, I will go live tomorrow night. And see, that's how they're using these Pentecostal and Protestant churches. And the preachers are preaching politics instead of God. It was good to see you too. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. That Greg Locke is another one, Locke, and he's big in Tennessee. And he's another, he's big into that QAnon, and he's a big pastor there in Tennessee. Let's see. He claimed he had witches in his congregation here a while back, and he was going to cleanse them all out of his congregation. He's freaky. If you can't make money somehow without using a child, you're a sorry, pitiful human being. That's how I feel about it. You don't deserve to be breathing air. You have nothing to offer this world if you can't make a dollar without using the back or the blood of a baby. Well, guys, I'm getting kind of tired, and we've been at this for like 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I really need to upload, or I'll have a really hard time getting this to go. It'll take a really long time, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one short. Well, it's not short, but you know what I mean. Oh, thank you so much, September Virgo. I appreciate you so much. I will put it towards the new computer, absolutely. I promise. You are awesome. And I appreciate each and every one of you putting up with my slow talking self. I'm going to go check him out, Leanne, for sure. Because without all you guys, there wouldn't be me. I would just be sitting here talking to myself, answering questions just for me. So I do appreciate you guys, and I love every one of you. So y'all take care and be blessed. See y'all on the flip side.